How many of you found that disturbing? Raise your hands. That's what I thought. You made a distinction. The difference between noise and sound is that noise is just simply unwanted sound. I would find this analogous to the definition of a weed, which is simply an unwanted plant. Noise and sound are measured in decibels, and the lowest decibel reading in which a human can detect is 10 decibels. Now, the decibel level which is painful to the human is 140 decibels. Also, increments of 1 decibel is the amount in which a human can detect as far as a difference in the sound level. I'd like to show you for a moment some other readings of some other familiar sounds. A whisper, 20 decibels. A quiet office is 50. Normal conversation, 60 decibels. Noisy office, 80. Power saw, 90. Chainsaw, 90. Grinding operations and passing truck are 100. I had wondered if grinding on a passing truck would still be 100. Something maybe one of you might want to do for a senior project or something. In any case, jet aircraft was 150 decibels. I'd like to test these readings out and confirm their authenticity. I brought a decibel meter here, thanks to Dave Kimball. And first I thought, with your cooperation, possibly we could test a quiet office. If you would just talk amongst yourselves in a very quiet tone to your neighbor. Give us a time. Okay, that's great. We got 64 decibels for a quiet office. So this is kind of a noisy office in here. Okay, and let's try a noisy office. If you have pencils, we'll try to simulate a typewriter. And go ahead and talk amongst yourselves and set a little bit more noise. Okay, that was about 76, and it sounded like we had Mr. Bill in the audience or something. I don't know if you detected that. But if that was an unwanted sound, then that would be a noise. So that was about 76. Now, as another test, I'd like for you to all, with Dr. Carter's permission, to scream at the absolute top of your lungs. On your mark. Get set. Go! Can we do that again? No! Just say 110 decibels. We have 110 decibels. Okay, so we can add that to the list. Unfortunately, that is not on the list. In any case, there are 3 broad types of noise/sound. Wideband frequencies, which you will typically find in manufacturing, the manufacturing machines. There's a narrowband, which you'll find in power tools such as drills, saws, and this kind of thing, hand tools basically. And then there's the impulse, which is transient sound, and this is caused by hammers, non-repetitive motion, or by jackhammers. And there's also hazards that are associated with noise and different areas in which you can put yourself at risk. Hearing loss is, of course, the most commonly known. A quickened pulse, an increase in blood pressure, also constriction of the blood vessels can be associated with noise. And the risks, of course, may seem self-explanatory. The intensity of the noise, the type of noise, whether it be wide, narrow, or impulse, the duration of daily exposure, how long you're at work, the total duration of exposure, number of years you've been in this noisy facility, and age of the individual, and coexisting hearing disease. In addition, there's some compresses for hammers, you lose the impact, the impulse noise, as we had spoke about earlier. And there's also a substitution of processes. We can use compression for riveting, and of course welding for riveting. Welding, gas or arc is fairly quiet. And reduction of the response of vibration, that can be done through dampening by rubber grommets, or if you're kind of the quick fix kind of guy, just a small little strip of corrugated fiberboard might do the trick temporarily. And also increase the mass of vibrating member. That simply just applies if the noisy piece of equipment is mounted on a table. Maybe you need to put it on a different type of table, or just a different thickness of material for the sound to resonate through, so you can absorb it. I'd like to conclude my presentation and open up the opportunity for any questions.
Good afternoon,